My beloved brothers and sisters, today I want you to open your heart wide, because the word that is coming to you is not an ordinary word. It is a divine announcement. It is a heavenly declaration. It is a whisper from the throne of God. Help is coming. And not just any help. Help that will surprise everyone around you. There are moments in life when we look at our circumstances and we feel as if the mountain is too high, the valley too deep, the storm too fierce. We try with human strength, but our hands feel too weak. We look for support around us, but the people we expected to stand with us walked away. We search for a solution, but every door seems closed. Yet it is in moments like these, when human help fails, when natural strength fades, when the path seems blocked, that God prepares to release a help that carries His signature, a help so unexpected that even your enemies will be speechless, a help so divine that no one will be able to take the credit. A help so powerful that your story will become a testimony echoing across generations. My friends, when God steps into your situation, He does not come the way people expect. He does not follow human schedules or earthly logic. He comes suddenly. He comes powerfully. He comes with answers that no one saw coming. Remember this, God has more ways to help you than you have problems. God has more strategies than you have struggles. And God has more miracles prepared for you than the enemy has attacks. Some of you have cried in the secret place. You have prayed when no one was watching. You have carried burdens that no one else knows about. You have stood in faith even when your heart felt weak. But hear this today. The God who sees in secret is about to reward you openly. The God who heard your whisper is about to answer you with thunder. The God who watched you stand will now lift you higher than you imagined. People may have underestimated you. They may have said you are finished. They may have concluded that your life will never rise again. They may have looked at your situation and written a full stop. But God is about to place a comma and continue your story with glory. God is sending helpers, people you didn't expect, opportunities you didn't see coming, resources you didn't think were possible. God is about to connect you with individuals who will carry what you cannot carry, who will open what you cannot open, who will speak where you cannot speak. These are destiny helpers ordained before time, released at the perfect moment, and guided by the Holy Spirit. When God sends help, it comes in unusual forms. Sometimes it is a person. Sometimes it is an idea. Sometimes it is a change of season. Sometimes it is favor in the eyes of someone who once ignored you. Sometimes it is strength you didn't know you had. Sometimes it is a miracle that breaks every law of limitation. But hear this, God's help is never late. It is always perfect. It is always strategic. It is always miraculous. There are angels being dispatched right now. There are doors unlocking right now. There are hearts being touched right now. There are people being prepared to bless you right now. Heaven is rearranging things on your behalf. Your life may have been quiet. Your progress may have been slow. Your season may have felt dry. but your silence does not mean God is absent. Your waiting does not mean God is ignoring you. Your delay does not mean denial. God has been preparing something that will make sense only when it arrives. And when it comes, you will know it was God. When it comes, your family will know it was God. When it comes, even your critics will know it was God. You are not going to rise by luck. You are going to rise by help from above. You are not going to succeed by chance. You are going to succeed by divine favor. You are not stepping into your next season by human strength. You are stepping in by supernatural assistance. Yes, God is about to make you a sign of His goodness. He is about to make your testimony so loud that people will marvel. What is coming will silence every doubt, cancel every mockery, and erase every shame. So lift your head, strengthen your faith, prepare your heart, because God is sending you help that will surprise everyone. And nothing on earth or in hell can stop it. Get ready. Your help is on the way. Your miracle is on the way. Your breakthrough is on the way. And when it arrives, you will declare with joy, the Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. God's help often arrives in unexpected, supernatural ways that no one can predict. And this truth becomes clearer the more we walk with Him. Many times we believe that answers must come through the channels we already know, through the people we trust, or through the systems we understand. But God is not limited to human logic. He is not bound by the routes we consider reasonable. He operates in realms beyond our imagination. And when He chooses to step into our circumstances, He often does so in ways that leave us stunned, humbled, and overwhelmed by His greatness. There are moments in life when everything looks ordinary, predictable, almost routine. You wake up, go through the motions, and nothing around you appears to be changing. Yet in the invisible realm, God is orchestrating something that will alter the very direction of your life. You may not feel anything shifting, but heaven's activity does not depend on your emotions. God plants answers in places you least expect. He hides solutions inside encounters you couldn't plan. He wraps breakthroughs in situations that seem simple or even inconvenient. What looks like a delay to you is divine strategy. What feels like confusion to you is careful construction in His hands. When God decides to send help, He often bypasses the channels you trusted most. This is because He wants the glory to return to Him alone. If your help came from the people you were expecting, you might give them the credit. If the door opened through the path you planned, you might assume you accomplished it. So God sometimes interrupts your expectations, not to disappoint you, but to reveal His sovereignty. He wants you to see that He is still the God who parts seas, who multiplies bread, who lifts the humble, who shuts the mouths of lions, and who breaks chains in midnight prisons. Your situation does not intimidate Him. Your impossibility is the very stage where He displays His power. Some of the greatest miracles in Scripture happened when people had run out of options. When the Red Sea blocked the way and Pharaoh's army was closing in, no one in Israel predicted that the water would split in two. When a widow had only a handful of flour left, she did not expect an endless supply to come from her small jar. When a young shepherd stood before a giant, no one predicted that a stone would bring a warrior to the ground. God often chooses the unexpected route because it reveals that the source of help was never human. It was always divine. In your life right now, you may be looking in the wrong direction, waiting for help from familiar places. You may be hoping for support from people who have already decided they cannot assist you. You may be waiting for a door to open that God has no intention of using, but what if the help God prepared for you is coming from a place you haven't looked at yet? What if the person who will bless you is someone you have not even met? What if the opportunity that will change your life is not connected to any of your current plans? God does not need to work through what you know. He often does His greatest work through what you could never anticipate. Sometimes God's help appears in the form of a small idea that drops into your spirit. It may seem insignificant at first, a thought, a prompting, a gentle nudge, but if you follow it, you will find that God planted something powerful inside that simple idea. Other times, help arrives through an unexpected person, a stranger, a coworker, a distant friend, even someone you once overlooked. Divine help does not always come wrapped in the packages we prefer. But when you recognize God's fingerprints on the assistance, you realize that it was far greater than anything you could have arranged. There are moments when God allows certain supports to fall away so that His help becomes unmistakable. When people walk away, when resources dry up, when opportunities collapse, it is not always a loss. Sometimes it is preparation. God clears the stage so that when He sends His help, it is clear that He alone deserves the praise. You may not understand why certain people could not help you, why some connections fell apart, or why certain doors shut at the last minute. But if the door had stayed open, you would have walked into a lesser blessing. If the person had stayed, you would have trusted them instead of God. If the opportunity had succeeded, you would have settled too soon. There is a pattern with God. He removes the predictable before He releases the extraordinary. He shakes your plans so He can reveal His purpose. He allows disappointment so He can surprise you with destiny. And when His help finally comes, it often comes suddenly. One moment, nothing seems to be happening. The next moment, everything shifts. God specializes in sudden divine interruptions, moments when heaven steps into earth and the natural bows to the supernatural. Your life is not too complicated for God to intervene. Your problem is not too tangled for Him to solve. Your situation is not too late for Him to transform. God's help does not run on human schedules. It arrives at the appointed time. His time, not yours. And when it comes, it will not just bless you, it will astonish the people around you. They will wonder how someone with your limitations rose so high. They will question how doors open for you that never open for others. They will be surprised not because you are extraordinary, but because the help you received carries the mark of the divine. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Release your grip on the paths you assumed God would use. Allow Him to surprise you. Stay sensitive to His leading. Stay open to unusual answers. The help coming your way is not ordinary help. It is supernatural assistance. It is heavenly intervention. It is divine support that will cause people to say, surely the hand of God is upon this life. What God is about to do for you will not fit within human logic. And that is exactly how you will know that it was Him. Your secret prayers and hidden tears are about to be rewarded openly by divine intervention. And this truth carries a depth that many people overlook. There are seasons in life when your most sincere words to God are not spoken in church, not spoken in front of others, not spoken in moments of strength, but whispered in the dark when no one else is around. Those moments when your voice trembles, when your heart feels heavy, when you feel the weight of life pressing down on your shoulders, those are the moments heaven listens with the greatest attention. God does not measure the volume of your prayer. He measures the sincerity behind it. And there is something powerful about prayers birthed in private battles, because those are the prayers that shape your destiny. Every tear you have shed, even the ones that fell silently, carried meaning before God. Tears are liquid prayers. They speak when your words feel too weak. They rise when your voice can't. People may not understand your tears. Some may overlook them or even judge them. But God bottles them, remembers them, and responds to them. The world sees strength as something loud and visible, but heaven sees strength in the quiet endurance of someone who keeps praying even when their heart feels broken. Your secret cries have reached the throne, and God has not forgotten a single one. There are moments when you prayed for strength and received none immediately. Moments when you asked for answers, but heard silence. Moments when you begged for clarity, but walked through confusion. You may have assumed that God was distant or uninterested, but the truth is that sometimes heaven is building something larger than your request. Sometimes the silence is preparation. Sometimes the wait is construction. Sometimes the delay is divine protection. What looks like unanswered prayer is often God assembling a far greater outcome behind the scenes. He is working in rooms you cannot see, arranging things in places you cannot enter, touching the hearts of people you have never met. You prayed when your faith was strong, but you also prayed when your faith felt like a flickering flame. God honors both. He honors the bold prayers and the broken ones. Your tears carry a fragrance that moves the heart of God. Nothing is wasted. Not one cry, not one plea, not one breath of desperation. While others may see only your calm face, God sees the battle within. The struggle you survive quietly is about to produce a public testimony. There are people who will be shocked at what God is about to do in your life. They saw your outward life, but not your inward fight. They saw your presence, but not your pain. They saw your steps, but not your struggle. They saw your smile, but not your sacrifice. They saw your courage, but not the nights you almost gave up. They do not know the cost of the oil you carry, the price of the faith you walk with, the depth of the war you fought in silence. But God knows, God saw, God heard, and He is about to answer. When God rewards openly, it is not to boast, it is to show His faithfulness. He reveals publicly what you have built privately. He brings honor where you felt shame. He brings strength where you felt weakness. He lifts you where you felt forgotten. Open reward is not just blessing, it is restoration, vindication, and elevation. It is God saying to heaven, earth, and even to your enemies, this is the one who trusted me in the dark. This is the one who stood when no one was watching. This is the one who did not give up. You may have prayed for things that seemed impossible, healing, direction, provision, reconciliation, breakthrough, and maybe you thought your prayers were too small, too simple, too ordinary. But in God's kingdom, sincerity is power. Faith the size of a mustard seed moves mountains because it is not the size of faith that matters. It is the one you placed your faith in. What you prayed in secret is about to manifest in ways that will leave even you speechless. People often celebrate the finished miracle, but heaven celebrates the hidden obedience. God saw the days you chose faith over fear, even when it was hard. He saw the moments you forgave even though it hurt. He saw the sacrifices you made silently to honor Him. He saw the steps you took in faith when everything around you discouraged you. Your persistence moved His heart. Your endurance touched His throne. And your consistency opened the way for a divine response. Some of you prayed for help when your hands were trembling. Some of you prayed for peace when your mind felt overwhelmed. Some of you prayed for strength when you could barely stand. Some of you prayed for answers when your life felt like a mystery you could not solve. And even though you wondered if God was listening, He was. He always was. Heaven has seasons, and you are entering a season where what was prayed in secret will be rewarded in the open. You are stepping into a time where the tears you cried in private will produce joy before witnesses. The pain you carried alone is about to turn into a testimony that will strengthen others. The burden that weighed you down is about to become the platform that lifts you. There are blessings that God had to delay because He wanted your character to match your calling. There are answers He had to hold back because He was shaping your heart to steward them. But now, the preparation is completing. The season is shifting. The reward is coming. People who never knew your struggle will see your victory. They will see God's hand upon your life, and they will know that it was not luck, not coincidence, not chance. It was divine intervention responding to secret devotion. Your private faithfulness is about to collide with God's public favor. The tears that once fell quietly will be replaced with laughter that cannot be hidden. The nights of heaviness will turn into days of joy. The struggles no one knew will birth breakthroughs everyone will see. God is not unjust to forget your labor, your tears, or your prayers. Your open reward is on the way, and when it comes, it will be undeniable that God Himself did it. Destiny helpers, opportunities, and favor are being aligned by God to lift you into a new season, and this alignment is far more intricate, majestic, and intentional than anything the human mind could construct. When God decides to shift your life into a new dimension, He does not merely bless you in one area, He orchestrates an entire environment, a whole atmosphere, a complete rearranging of circumstances, people, and moments that push you into the place He has prepared for you. This alignment is not random. It is strategic, it is divine, and even though you may not see it happening, heaven is working with precision beyond your imagination. Many people imagine destiny helpers as individuals who simply show up and assist, but the truth is far deeper. Destiny helpers are people whose lives have been intertwined with your purpose long before you ever met them. They are individuals whose gifts match your gaps, whose strength complements your weakness, and whose presence accelerates your calling. God brings these people into your life, not by accident, but by appointment. They appear at the exact moment your destiny requires them. They carry keys to doors you cannot open alone. They bring solutions you did not even know existed. They provide support, wisdom, resources, favor, positioning, or connection that elevates you into the next level of your calling. But destiny helpers do not always enter in grand or obvious ways. Sometimes they appear disguised as ordinary people. Sometimes they come through simple conversations. Sometimes they arrive in unexpected seasons. God often uses unlikely vessels, people from backgrounds you did not anticipate, personalities you did not expect, and paths that never crossed yours before. He sends the right people at the right time to push your story forward, and their arrival marks a shift in your destiny. Opportunities are also part of this divine alignment. Not every open door is from God, but the ones He sends carry peace, purpose, and supernatural timing. A God-given opportunity is never forced, it flows. It does not require manipulation, compromise, or pressure. Instead, it comes with clarity, direction, and grace. These opportunities may look small at first, like a seed, but when you step into them, they unfold into something far greater than what they initially appeared to be. God often hides your next season inside a small beginning, so that only those who walk by faith can see it. Some opportunities come through people, while others come through ideas dropped into your heart by the Holy Spirit. Some come through unexpected favor, while others come through rejections that redirect you towards something better. Not all opportunities will feel convenient. Some will require courage, boldness, and faith. But when they are from God, they come with supernatural alignment. Resources appear, connections form, and doors unlock as if creation itself is cooperating with your destiny. Then there is divine favor, the invisible advantage that shifts outcomes in your favor without your striving. Favor is not earned, it is granted. It cannot be purchased, it is bestowed. Favor is when God touches the hearts of people and causes them to bless you, support you, help you, or elevate you without fully understanding why. Favor is when rules bend, systems shift, and decisions lean toward you because the fingerprints of God are on your life. Favor makes you noticeable in rooms where you would otherwise be invisible. Favor opens doors that qualifications cannot open. Favor lifts you into places that effort alone cannot reach. You may not see it yet, but favor is already being written into your future. People who once overlooked you will begin to value you. People who rejected you will remember you. People who never thought of you will call for you. Favor causes your name to be spoken in rooms you have never entered. It causes your work to reach places your feet have not touched. It causes the right individuals to notice you at the right time. Sometimes alignment begins with separation. God removes certain people because their presence would interrupt your elevation. He closes some doors because they lead to destinations beneath your calling. He delays some opportunities because they are too small for the future He is preparing. You may feel loss, confusion, or frustration in these moments, but what you see as rejection is often divine redirection. What you see as delay is divine preparation. What you see as an ending is divine repositioning. God is not only arranging people for you, He is arranging you for people. He is shaping your character so you can handle the next level. He is enlarging your capacity so you can manage greater responsibility. He is strengthening your faith so you won't collapse under the weight of the blessing. Sometimes the season feels heavy, not because God is punishing you, but because He is training you. Destiny requires development, and God will not elevate you into a place where your character cannot sustain you. You may not feel the alignment happening, but heaven works quietly. Seeds grow underground before anyone sees the plant. Foundations are laid deep before a building rises high. Preparation always precedes manifestation. While you wonder if things are working, God is positioning everything perfectly. He is speaking to hearts. He is influencing minds. He is connecting paths. He is arranging meetings. He is orchestrating timing. Nothing is random. Everything is intentional. There are people right now who do not know your name yet, but they are going to play a vital role in your destiny. There are places you have never been that will soon welcome you. There are opportunities you have not applied for that will seek you out. There are blessings you have not prayed for that God will surprise you with. This is alignment, quiet, precise, divine alignment. When these elements finally converge, destiny, helpers, opportunities, and favor, you will experience a sudden shift. What took years will happen in moments. What was hard will become easy. What was slow will accelerate. What was blocked will open effortlessly. Destiny is not built by human strength. It is carried by divine alignment. Your new season is not coming. It has already begun. Heaven is preparing the support you need, the doors you will walk through, and the favor that will crown your life. You are stepping into a time when everything God promised begins to unfold. The alignment is happening, and soon the manifestation will be undeniable. When God sends His help, it will silence doubt, surprise your surroundings, and glorify His name in your life. And this truth carries a depth that reaches far beyond the surface. There are moments where people look at your situation and draw conclusions about your future. They measure your potential by what they see externally. They observe your circumstances, your limitations, your struggles, your delays, and they assume they already know how your story will end. But what they cannot see is the God factor. They cannot see the divine help that is already on its way. They cannot see the heavenly intervention being prepared behind the scenes. They cannot see the supernatural shift forming in silence. When God decides to step in, everything changes, and He does so with such authority and such brilliance that every doubt, every prediction, and every negative word spoken against you becomes irrelevant. People may have underestimated you because they thought your strength was your only resource. They did not know that God Himself was about to back you. They saw you walking alone, but they didn't see the army of angels surrounding you. They saw your struggle, but they didn't see the help that was scheduled to arrive at the exact moment heaven ordained. They saw your emptiness, but they didn't see God preparing an overflow. They saw your tears, but they didn't see the joy being formed in the next chapter. Human beings judge based on visible evidence, but God moves in invisible realms. And when His help manifests, it always disrupts human predictions. There are situations in your life where people formed opinions about you too early. They spoke out of what they assumed, not realizing that God was not finished with you. They saw a snapshot, not the whole story. They saw a chapter, not the full book. They witnessed a moment, not the destiny. And because of what they saw, some doubted you, some dismissed you, some walked away from you, some even mocked you. Yet none of that stopped God from preparing the help that will astonish them. Divine help does not arrive quietly. It arrives with impact. It arrives with evidence. It arrives in such a way that no one can deny that God intervened. When God helped Joseph, no one could deny it. Overnight he went from a prisoner to a ruler. When God helped Esther, the entire nation saw it. She went from an orphan to a queen destined to save her people. When God helped David, it was observable. He went from a shepherd boy ignored by his family to a king chosen by heaven. This is how God works. His help is not subtle, it is transformational. The reason divine help silences doubt is because it comes in a way that no human strategy could produce. You could not have arranged it. You could not have forced it. You could not have manipulated it. God brings help that carries a supernatural signature. People will look at your breakthrough, your elevation, your restoration, your success, and they will know this could only be God. This is why the help God sends has power. It is not merely assistance, it is divine validation. It confirms that God has been with you even in the seasons where you looked abandoned. There will be individuals who doubted your calling, questioned your vision, or belittled your potential. They thought you were dreaming too big, hoping too high, believing too boldly. They thought your faith was unrealistic, your prayers were unnecessary, Your expectations were exaggerated, but the moment God intervenes, the same people who doubted you will witness the undeniable evidence of God's faithfulness. And their doubt will turn into silence. Their criticism will turn into confusion. Their mockery will turn into awe. Some will be surprised not because they hated you, but because they simply did not see any pathway for your life to change. But God specializes in doing what people cannot imagine. His help appears in ways the human mind cannot calculate. A phone call you didn't expect, a connection you didn't plan, a breakthrough that arrives suddenly, a door that opens without explanation, a blessing that reaches you without effort. These are the ways God shifts your season. When God sends His help, it also surprises your surroundings because it breaks the limitations placed on your life by others. There are people who limited you based on your background. Others limited you based on your past mistakes. Some limited you based on your current circumstances. Some limited you based on what they heard about you. But God's help is not restricted by human labels. He does not consult your critics to decide your future. He does not check your history to determine your destiny. He moves beyond what they see because He sees what they cannot: your purpose, your potential, your anointing, your calling, your future. God's help comes with authority. It comes with speed. It comes with glory. And when it arrives, it will reveal why your past battles were necessary. The attacks you endured, the tears you cried, the loneliness you walked through, the delays you suffered, they were shaping you for the moment God's help would manifest. And when it does, your surroundings will be shocked at how you rise after everything you went through. But the ultimate purpose of divine help is not to impress people. It is to glorify His name. God does not intervene to make you famous. He intervenes to make Himself known through your life. Your story becomes the stage for His power. Your testimony becomes the instrument of His glory. Your elevation becomes the evidence of His sovereignty. When people see how God helped you, they will see His character, His faithfulness, His mercy, His provision, His strength, His compassion. They will see that He is a God who hears, a God who responds, a God who rescues, a God who restores. There will come a moment when the same mouths that doubted you will say, "Surely the Lord has done this." There will be a moment when the same eyes that overlooked you will witness your rise. There will be a moment when the same people who walked away will be reminded that God never left you. This is the kind of help God is preparing. Help that displays His greatness, not just your progress. You are not going to rise by luck, chance, or coincidence. You are going to rise by divine help. You are not entering your next season by human strength. You are entering by supernatural assistance. And when it happens, the glory will not belong to any man. It will belong to God alone. This is the help that is coming. Help that silences doubt, surprises everyone, and reveals the unmistakable hand of God upon your life.